Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, I did manage to get the set pixel to work. And I managed to make it work by basically not doing a fill ahead of time. Now, I don't know why, because as soon as I do fill, see, I do like set pixels, red 1, green, blue 0, and then right after I do green 1, and then red and blue 0. So the pixels right here, it is set to green. If I were to comment it out, I'm going to go ahead and run it again, and we should see that the pixel is red. Now, oh, didn't need to actually run it, excuse me, but it is red. There we go. And then as soon as I do like fill it with black, I just need to save it. I don't even need to run the update. Let's see. There we go. So it's filled with black and then nothing else. I don't know why, but this is honestly kind of annoying. But thankfully, if I were to disable the fill and then save it, there we go. It is red, but it does seem like even if the pixels are transparent, they are being by default written as black. So at least that's good. Now, before I go on to figure this out, I kind of want to understand why is it that every time I open the panel, it causes this to regenerate. And what we have here is a series of places where we run this whole randomized multi-mesh thing. Starting instance is a variable that we used to send here. I'm going to not send this here. We're just going to make a variable here temporarily. And I need to figure out where is this coming from. So randomize, we're going to print randomize end source. And I'm going to just place a bunch of numbers in every single place where randomize is being called from. There we go. And then I'm going to clear this and then adjust the panel, I suppose. Or what? Save. Oh. Okay. Now it says randomize, but it doesn't say what. Let's set it to -1 by default. One more time. Let's see. Okay, it just says randomize. So this might not even be the place where it's coming from, or this likely requires us to restart the level. Okay, clear. Level 001. Okay. I believe it's opening. Hey. Okay. Now this right here. Huh. Invalidate tree index tree types on base node, master node. You know what? Maybe we're going to move the tree types to the tree. There we go. Okay. The issue is tree.gd. Okay. Okay, so can we get it to not complain about this anymore? Hopefully. Let's close. Level 001. What the? Oh, right. We're still trying to talk to tree types. This is line 52. And this is for randomly choosing a tree. Right. Well, actually, do we talk to this more than once? We talked to this literally twice, and it's both right here. All right. Yeah, that's because we turned the tree script into a tool, and tools have no way of talking to outside nodes other than itself. Okay. Double check. Close this. Open up level 001. That should stop complaining. Hopefully. Beautiful. Okay. Now we have this thing. What is it? Bush GD. Invalid set index texture with base null instance. Stream texture. Design chosen. Disgin chosen. Okay. Bush GD26. Can we just take a moment to clear all these issues? Bush GD. Invalid set index texture on base null instance with value of type stream texture. Well, this is line 26, which is this. And I believe the bush has a sprite 3D. So see, this is kind of annoying. Because clearly the node is there. It just doesn't like it. It just doesn't like to run it immediately. Huh. I suppose we can do if it's not null, because it would exist at some point. Actually, I might want to double check which line of code that error was on. Okay. Node not found by 3D relative spatial. Well, now. I think it's talking about this. This doesn't seem like the right way to deal with it. Design chosen. Get rid of that. Just clogging up our output. And then Control-Shift-O. Level 001. Okay. I'll say we'll sacrifice the first 10 minutes resolving these little loose ends. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure this is still talking about the same exact thing. You know what? There we go. Actually, this should be here. Actually, this doesn't matter, because this will only run if it's not if it's in the game. If it's not an editor hint. That should be perfectly fine. So that's something else. Okay. Direct space state, complaining about that. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what else is being complained about. Randomize 6, randomize 4. Okay. Rasterize storage. Condition multi-mesh custom data. Data none is true. Okay. Somebody has suggested that I should be locking it after I fill. Cool. We'll return to this after. Let's explore this for a moment. Okay, so we fill, then we lock. All right. Save. Hey, it worked. Okay, yeah. So, this isn't something that you have to do in Godot 4, but yeah, it apparently we have to fill, then we lock, then we set pixel. Fascinating. Now, can I set pixel twice? Like this? Nice. Okay. Beautiful. We got it up and running. Okay, so this is gonna be white, of course. Beautiful. And there we go. Okay, fantastic. Let's go ahead and wrap this up first. Although, here's the thing. I don't want it to be... Milden, good day. I don't want it to be randomizing. You see, if I clear this right now, and Control S to save, or I suppose if I go here and Control S to save the script, nothing will happen. Well, what the heck? Unless I do like a change and then save the script. Maybe if it saves the script, it reinitializes all the variables. Yeah, that seems like it. Uh-huh. Now it says randomize. It doesn't say what kind of randomize. It also shows me a whole bunch of this hoopla. Okay. It says randomize 1. Randomize 1. Source would have to be 1, and the source is 1 when we do here. And this is only done when scatter pressed is executed. Now, scatter pressed. That doesn't seem right. Where's that variable? Scatter is that variable right there. So it's the first one. And then it waits for scatter pressed to be executed. Now, I'm not pressing it. See, that's the thing. I'm not actually pressing it. So why is it detecting itself not being pressed? Okay. Well, that's fine. Well, it's not really fine because it keeps running itself over and over and over again. Um, huh. What can I do here to make it not self-execute? Also, we got something else printing the randomize print. Let's see. Inspector, randomize. Oh, print randomize. What is this? Multi-mesh scatter. Oh, that's for repositioning. Okay. So that's for repositioning it. So maybe we just don't have it reposition. Randomize do reposition. Okay. Yep. So as you can see, randomize do reposition. Now why is this the case? Old position. That's probably because the old position gets cleared, isn't it? Where's old position? On ready. GGScript is weird in certain cases. Global translation. Maybe it's got to be global transform dot origin. Maybe that's what it's got to be. And then we do this. Clear. Save. The fact that it's taken this long to save must mean that it's like saving local resources or something. Randomize do reposition. Let's take a look at what is being randomized. Let's get the name of the node, and then we do this. All right, let's take a look. Okay, multi-mesh, grass multi-mesh 4. Ferns. So everything gets repositioned. So you know what? Let's just comment it out. All right. Just comment it out. And now we're left with this. Huh. Now, multi-mesh custom data format equals none, which makes sense. Ferns is the only one that has custom data actually set to something. Float. Okay. The rest of them don't have anything set, which makes sense. Because none of them actually send anything. Well, they shouldn't be. Let's see. It says index texture created. Good day. Good day indeed. It doesn't even say this. This is a certified child of ether moment. Hyacinth intently trying to make it a thing. Okay, float 100. Visible instance -1. Why are you complaining? Okay, just sending a message to the gentleman who had given me the hint. That's good. Cool. Is shaded language like GDScript? It is. I would say it's much more like C++. It's very rudimentary. It's very like strict. Right. Okay. So we have it working, at least. So what we should be able to do is get it to display. Yeah, we need to make it basically place like a collision shape area around each fern. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do, pop into the scene. It has only the multi-mesh. Okay, we're gonna make it generate a shape of its own. So let's do export or reactive. We already have a variable for it. That's perfect. If reactive is set to true, then we need to first create a static body or area node for detecting player. So we're gonna do new area, create a new one. We're gonna add it as a child of ourselves, new area, and I think that's it. I don't think we need to set the owner necessarily, because this is kind of done in real time. Now, we need to create as many collision shapes as there are ferns here, as there are objects. So, I guess what we can do, we can go down here in the for loop. We can set up a comment, create shapes for each fern. So if reactive is true, okay, var new shape equals. Let's do, we're gonna make them share the same shape. Sphere shape, new, and then var new collision node equals collision shape new. So we'll make a new one. Now the job is to add this collision shape to this area, which means we should probably make a global variable called myArea. Okay. Set my a variable my area to null up here. And then by the time we run this, we're going to say my area add child of new collision node. And then this collision node, which is a collision shape, should have its shape set to the new shape we just created. Okay. Technically, this should do it. All we have left to do is position it. Now, to position it, we do global transform, and then we can just reuse the same exact transforms that we have used on the each and every mesh. I think that's it. Identifier instance basis is not defined. Right. Should probably do it here as well. Actually, if you do it here, we might have a mismatch, so no. Right. I suppose we can just create the basis and populate it with data here. Right. And then that should be good. I think that should do it. Now, we're not going to see anything happen in the level, because the level doesn't actually display the data. It doesn't display the nodes, collision shape nodes, unless we populate them with an owner. But I can set visible collision shapes and then just run it, and we should be able to see them in the game. Might have to adjust the radius. Maybe. Okay. Hey. Now, do we see collision shapes? I don't think we do. Actually? Nope. No collision shapes. Okay, this fern is set to be reactive. So new shape, new collision shape. Did he give us any errors? Not outside the regular stuff. Huh. Let's double check with a print. Shape created. Oh, you know what? Set instance transform is based in local axis. That's why we had to remove the global transform from it. With the new collision shape, I guess we need to kind of do the same. Remove the global transform from it, or if we're using global transform, then we don't subtract it. I think that should do it. Let's see. Okay. Well, I'm still not seeing any shapes. I'm also not seeing this shape created. which is curious. If reactive is true. Hmm. Make a new shape. Sphere shape, right? Let me double check something. Collision shape. And then it takes sphere shape. That is correct. Okay. Okay, maybe I have to do something physical. Like something like this. It does say shape created now. We have to manually run it. Well, let's see. Still don't see any shapes. Okay. So maybe we have to use transform. Right? We'll use local coordinate. Why are we not responding? Hello? Ah, jeez. All right. Let's try this. I might have to set the owner to be the currently edited scene, to be honest, so I can actually see if something's happening. Huh. Okay. New collision node. Transform is set to. Transform, which is based off of the instance basis. Which, to be honest, might as well just have basis. And then collision data position minus global translation of this node. It could be the case that it just doesn't display the collision shape in debug view, which is again quite unfortunate. Yep. Okay. Let's set the owners. So we go up here, add child, set what's the thing? Edited scene, get edited scene root, editor interface. Right. Get edited scene root. There we go. So this function get edited scene root can only be called from an instance. You are an instance. Oh, jeez. Okay. Get editor something. Get editor viewport, get editor interface. Isn't declared. Huh. Okay, let's take a look. Owner of the node you're adding. Yes. Huh. Get edited scene root. When you create a new node, this is going to state the scene from the editor. After adding a child, you need to set the owner of the scene root. This makes the new node visible and persistent in the scene. Right. Get tree. Get edited scene root. Hey. Okay. So now we should see the area appear here. There it is. Okay. Now we need to repeat the same thing here. Okay. And there's the collision shapes. Now, where did you go? It is right there. It is literally right there. It is in the right space. There's a collision shape next to each and every one of these nodes. So it works. Okay. Now, you saw that it created a second one. So we need to make sure that it doesn't keep creating them over and over and over again if it already has them. Okay. Cool. So if I guess we do let's do this. We're going to take the area. I'm going to delete both of these. And then here, when we add child, we'll force it to have a legible name. Now, we're going to do if get child or has node area, it returns false. So if not has node, then it's going to do this whole thing. Okay, so I save it. We're looking at the ferns. And there we go. It didn't do it. But if I switch here, click generate, still didn't do it. Now this is a function add child. Excuse me? All right, let's take a look at that. Add child. Oh. No, it takes a child node and a boolean on whether or not to force legible unique names. So it has everything it needs, all the amenities. Has node. It wants a node path. Okay. Okay, what if we do get node? Get node. If the path does not exist, null is returned. Okay, so can we do get node? And then if it returns null, then it creates a new area node. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Okay, and then when it comes to the shapes, we're going to make sure remove all old shapes. So for each child in where? My area dot get children, each child queue free. Okay, so this has a total of 100 shapes. I'm saving. And this should still have a total of 100 shapes. And it does. Beautiful. Now, if I take the ferns and I suppose give it more, 120, it should detect invalid call analysis function get children base nil. Well, that's not good. It created the shapes. 158. Right. If is instance valid? I'm kind of shooting in the dark here. Okay. There we go. All right. So this should now have 120 shapes. Right. Excuse me. Well, nope. Still 100. Okay. Generate. Okay, now it should have 120. It does not. Now this is a function called add child on base nil. Man. 167. Oh, that's because my area variable is null. That's right. Because it starts as null and it must be getting cleared to be null. Okay. Got it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get the node of area every time. Okay, so var, yada, yada, yada. And then down here, my area equals get node if it's not null and is a valid instance. We're going to talk to my area, queue free all the children, and then to my area we add everything. Like this. Okay, and now it only has one collision shape. If we generate... Nope. It says shape created, but we only see one. Hmm. Oh, hold on a second. We keep destroying and recreating all the shapes in the for loop. That's not good. Because this is another for loop right here. Okay, so why don't we say clear any old shapes. Ah, damn it. It's every time I'm saving, it's gotta redo this thing. Okay. Let's see about taking this code. Copy it. Well, I guess we can just keep this. Verifying that it is not null. And then we go back here. Okay. Get the area. If it's not null and is a valid instance, go through the children, destroy the children, do it only once. Already defined. Don't really care. 164. Technically, don't need to get it because already got it. Save it. The last shape it created is 121, so it did actually at least run it as many times as there were shapes. Nice. Okay, so now we have 120 shapes. A shape for every fern. That's good. Let's set it to 150. Beautiful. And that should give us... There we go. Now, what's curious is that the numbering didn't actually begin from 0, and I think that's because the shape is still in there. It's only being queued for deletion. We need to remove it. myArea.remove. Remove is going to extract the child from the node. It's not going to destroy it. That's still the job of queue_free, but at least when it extracts it, the numbering is going to be available for any new shapes to start from 0 again. And while technically not necessary, I do like it. Okay. Nice. Now, I have a suspicion of why it might take so long to update, although that numbering still doesn't seem to be correct. Clear? Oh god, there's so much stuff. It takes forever to clear. Save it. Okay. Run. Hey, there we go. No, not there we go. Remove. Remove is non-existent. I think it's remove child. There we go. That's what we gotta do. Node not found. Yeah. Okay. Clear. Generate. Hey, nice. Starts from 0 or 1 and gets up to the number needed. Cool. All right. So, what's next? Next, we need to establish a signal so we can detect when a player enters. Let's go here. We're going to do func area entered. And then we're going to forward the body that has entered here. Okay. And then when we establish the area node, we're going to connect. I guess first we have to add it as a child, maybe. My area. Connect the signal of body entered. target is self, the signal is this one, and then any binds, I suppose it's not going to be just body entered, it's going to be body shape entered. And I actually need to have the full definition of the signal, because it's not just going to be the body. I am going to cheat. I'm going to establish body shape entered signal here. And this is going to be in the fern. No, we can't. Well, it doesn't matter if we add it here. I'm just going to pop in here. Hey, don't delete stuff, please. Area node. Body shape entered. Connect. And then delete this. And the only reason why I did this is so that I could copy this function, and it already has all the definitions, but we're not going to have the area node kept there. We're still going to use this one, and it's body shape entered. This is the function, and I think that should do it. No binds besides the default ones. Okay, now if body is in group player group, then we're going to do local shape index. So print, let's do fern, the number of the fern, detected player. Okay. Save it. Close it. Wait for it to crash. Okay, there we go. And then let's run it. Now, technically, we do have to be careful. We're using Zillion's terrain, which has a particular issue with its terrain collisions, and it's the fact that all the terrain pieces... Oh, well, the shapes are gone. All the terrain, the entire terrain is like a series of teeny tiny triangles, and every single triangle gets detected as a separate collision in the area node. So we're going to have to make sure that this area ignores it. Now, why do we not have collisions here? Let's see. Did this thing run? It did not run. Actually, it didn't run anything. It doesn't have any collisions at all. Ferns. Scatter. Okay. Okay, so now that we generated it, is it still going to be there? Hopefully. I really do have to figure out the stability. Okay. Or the reliability of these ferns being created at the proper time. Now, this doesn't seem to detect the player. Why the heck not? Player is a part of the group called player_group. Is the signal getting called at all? Print fern detect. Nope. It does not seem so. And maybe that's because when the node runs, it doesn't actually run the attachment. So let's try this. I'm going to copy this, go to the ready, and then else, if this is run in game, we're going to say if get node area is not null, so we are able to get an area. I guess maybe we'll just make a variable attempt to get an area. And if the variable is not null, then it has an area. And we're going to just establish the signal this way. Body shape entered. That's the signal we'd like to establish. We're establishing it to self, and this is the function that gets connected. All right. Let's see. Hey, Fern 47 detected. There we go. As you can see, they are detecting stuff. They're detecting the player, so that's good. Then we'll go back here. Get rid of this. All right, so it is detecting, and you can see that each fern has a number. That's the local shape index. All we have to do is convert this to an XY coordinate, which we should be able to do the same way we assigned the color. How do we assign the color? We did it here. Set instance custom color. Right. So each instance, that's what we did. Okay, now this. I think this is it, minus the divide by 32, because that converts it to a float. So we're gonna do this. None of this stuff, and then none of this stuff. That's our X and Y coordinate. We're going to need to get the texture, which is this, image new. Okay. Image contents. Now, this image contents should be declared up here. Yes, yes it is. So, I believe we need to lock and set pixel. Hopefully. Hopefully that's all that we gotta do. So, maybe don't need to lock, because we already technically locked it up there. We do need to check if not null and if reactive are true. Okay. And then set pixel. This is the X coordinate. And the floored version of that is the Y coordinate. And then we set the color to white. Each instance is not a thing here. We have local shape index instead. Alrighty. Let's see if it works. I swear to God, we're so close. Okay. That one's always wiggling because it's technically always part of the starting texture. Okay, so maybe we do have to lock. Does it complain about it? Get node area. Node not found area. Right. Well, I mean, that's how it's supposed to work. Returns null if it can't find it. Hopefully this doesn't actually crash the game. You know, it would just be easier if we just gave it an area and just not populate it with anything. Because then we know it's there. Although I don't think we can get a reference to it. Alright. So. I think if I were to go to remote and then go to start area, take a look at ferns. Go to multi-mesh, material. Okay, this is the texture. Print pixel set. Let's see if that even runs. It only runs detection player, but I think we gotta rerun the game. Live code reloading isn't, I don't think it's as robust in 3 as it is in 4. Ready then? No pixel set. Probably because, yeah, this is probably null. Okay, so instead of getting image contents this way, we're going to check if it's reactive. Var img. Let's go ahead and locate where we need to go to get to this thing. So mesh or multi-mesh dot mesh dot get or surface get material. There's only one material here. And then get, what are we getting? We're getting this property right here. In this index texture, within which we're getting image. Okay. And then on this image, I'm going to perform set pixel. It says pixel set. I don't believe it. But it does say pixel set, although does it actually get the image? Let's go over here. Now let's have it print the image alongside with it. So we can verify that it actually got what it claims that we're getting. No? Yep. Well, actually, that's curious. Why is the image resource different every time? Let's verify that the X and Y coordinates are correct. So we're gonna do X, this, Y, this. Let's take a look. Okay, that doesn't seem, well, maybe. 1, 4. I mean, some of these things should have been, wiggling by this point. So maybe it's because we also have to talk to the texture and we have to set the image again. Set data img. I think that's what we got to do. Let's see, image texture. It has a method called setData, and it takes an image. And it explicitly says replaces texture data with the new image. The image has to be initialized first with create from image method before it can be updated. Use this method over create from image if you want to update the texture frequently, which is faster by allocating additional memory for the new texture each faster than allocating new memory. Okay. Okay, please tell me it's going to detect it. Hey, it does. Look at that. So as I'm going through, it causes those ferns to wiggle. I think the wiggling effect could be better, but, you know, we'll make do with what we got. I might be able to make like a rippling gradient and make it wiggle up and down, technically. Okay. Cool. Now, I want to make sure that it does dissipate over time. And in order for me to do that, I have to somehow store... What do I gotta store? I gotta store the values. Okay, so we have a 32 by 32 pixel texture. When the player walks over a fern, it locates the pixel coordinate of that fern on this little texture and sets it to 1. So that makes it wiggle. And then over time, it has to dissipate to 0. Now, we could loop over the entire 32 by 32 pixel texture, but that's 2 nested for loops, each iterating over 32 values. Not good. So what if instead we log the textures? What if instead we log the pixel coordinates and we make it dissipate over time? I have a particular idea that how I might be able to do it. We have an array. Anytime the player walks into the area, we log the... We log... What do we log? I guess we can log just the x and y coordinates right away since we already calculated them. And then in like a process function, we could dissipate over time. We dissipate them over time. We have an array, we store x and y coordinates of the pixels. Then we have a separate process where if there's anything in that array, it loops through the array. It maybe like it adds a very faint black pixel on top of the one that's there, although it says set pixel. So we'd have to get the pixel, and if it's above if it's above 0, then we dissipate it. If it is 0, we have to get rid of it. So we'd have to maybe log any pixels that aren't black yet into a new array, and then afterwards we just override the original with the new one. That could technically work. Okay, well, why don't we give it a go? So we're going to say, let's make a variable here, var disturbed pixels array. It's an empty array. And then here, when we detect that the player has entered, we append another array into this array containing the x and y coordinates on the texture. Okay, and that's it. That's all we got to do. Next, we go to physics process. And, oh, not physics process, excuse me. This is just process. Okay. Dissipate any disturbed pixels. If reactive is true for each pixel array or chord. Wait a minute, why is it an array of arrays? Why can't we just do like a vector 2? I think that's less asinine. Okay, so for each pixel coordinate in this, what's it called? Great. What was it called? Did I just nuke that variable? God damn it. Disturbed pixels. No, there's two of them. Okay. Booked a demo for Vision Pro on Monday. Man, I hope you enjoyed. I am not even... I don't want to have anything to do with Apple or Apple related. Okay. Each pixel coordinate in disturbed pixel array. So what are we going to do? So I guess what we need to do is we need to get the texture first. Now, here's the deal. We're getting this image here, but it feels like we should just be okay to do this once. Right? I feel like we should just do this once. Let's make this right here. So var my what is it? My index texture equals, and then we're gonna do on ready, I suppose. So the texture is this, and then another on ready var my index texture content, which is going to be this thing. Now we you know what, we can't really do this on ready because we have to check if there is anything there in the first place. So we're going to do this. We're going to make this null. Because I think getting this every time over and over and over again is not smart. Okay, so if it is an editor hint, don't care. If it's not, if reactive, then we can get the values and populate them here. This has to be null. And then this is not an export variable. It's actually just a regular. Cool. All right. So hopefully that should do it. So we have texture content and texture. Okay. So we don't need to get it again because we know that it's there. Hopefully. We will talk to... This is the material. This is the texture. Set data img index texture. So we do here texture. This is the texture resource. Set data, and then this is the content. Content. Cool. I think that should do it. Whew, man. Lots of stuff to consider. Okay, set pixel. No, that seems to work. So what gives? Is it up here? Because I left something up there. Each pixel chord. Line 69. Okay, we're missing a bracket in here. Parenthesis. Let me double check something. Boop. Oh. Let's try that again. Boop. Okay, so my identifier, my index texture, which is supposed to have been here, and it somehow got destroyed. There we go. Okay, so it is complaining about a missing bracket, which means it is likely the code. Yeah, there you go. So the error goes away. So it's got to be here. Closing brackets, closing, opening bracket, closing, print. You got floor, commas, set data, and then one. Oh, I think this might be it. We got vector 2, opening bracket, floor, closing for vector, and closing for append. Beautiful. All right, back to here. Okay, so if there's any disturbed pixel coordinates, oh, that's why it's complaining. I created the variable not at the very top. Let's do it right here. Okay. Okay, so if any coordinates are there, I guess we need to first get the pixels. So we're going to take the content, get pixel. The coordinates, we'll have to supply them .x, .y. Okay. And then I guess let's do var c for color, and then print disturbed, comma, c. Let's see, no pun intended, if this is actually gonna work. Disturbed. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't work. Curious. If reactive is ready, let's see if we got something here. So print retrieve texture resources here, and texture content is going to be right here. Okay, let's see. I don't see it. Interesting. Now, it does say it's reactive. Okay, I'm going to switch my desk to standing mode. Right. So, we don't see the print. It's a bit of a problem. I'm going to go ahead and find this and get rid of it. What is this? Combat card. Right. Okay. Get back here. Right. So, wait, reactive is null? Isn't supposed to be false? I think I might have messed up. Yeah, what the heck? Where did reactive go? Reactive is false. Oh, it's got to be an export. Okay. And then no @ symbol, because, you know, let's not get out 4. Now this is, again, this is the first time we're figuring this whole thing out. It's okay. If it's okay if it's like this. That's perfectly fine. I would like to figure out what the heck is complaining about all the multi-mesh, this stuff. Okay, let's clear. And then let's run. Okay. Each card. Okay. Well, it did retrieve the resources. It's there. I would like to get rid of this as well. Don't need to see it. Oh, there's two of them. This is back in the code for building the deck. There we go. Do you do this as a hobby? I do this for as long as I have free time. Work for myself, my own projects. Oh, look who's here. Lucky, pop back in. Welcome back. Right, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for pigs to fly and health to freeze. Okay. Well, now we don't have any detection. Whew, man. I think it's because we're like generating stuff in the editor. We're generating for stuff in the editor using a tool script, but then expecting it to be present in the game. Hey, look at that. So nice. Well, we already knew that this works. It's all fine and dandy, but I'd like to get it to dissipate now. So that's curious. I actually fixed it not seeing the resources by regenerating the scatter. That's we're gonna have to deal with that. We're definitely gonna have to fix that because once I populate the entire map with a whole bunch of these multi-meshes, oh boy. Yeah, that's gonna be. Imagine if we populate the entire level with like, what, 20, 30, 40 multi-meshes of various foliage types, and then Godot decides to go and then I'm gonna have to regenerate the scatter for all of them. Even though technically we're using a fixed seed for all of them, I still don't want to go through and having to do that. That's not good. Those your drawings? Yup. The plight of indie game development. Nobody wants to work for free, so learn to draw and animate and program and do everything yourself. Whew. Especially in the beginning when your projects aren't really that attractive to anybody else. Cool. All right. Right. Where's that for loop? Because we need to dissipate it. Bop, 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 beep, 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 boop. Where are we? We're not even in the right script. Whew. Okay, here we go. So we retrieve the color. That's the fun of it. Yeah. Once you get past the frustration of not knowing how to do something, oh, that's when the fun begins. Cool. Cool. So we get the pixel from the texture. We then set the pixel. And also we didn't have to lock the image again, so that's good. Set pixel. Set pixel. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll do c.red, c.green, C.blue. What if we skip the alpha? So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take all three of these values. Oh, what's happening? Oh, great. We're going to have to figure that out. You know what? No, we don't need to do this one color at a time. We're just going to do set pixel. We're going to take the color and then interpolate. We know that this C is going to contain a data of type color. So C in linear interpolate to color Voller, beautiful, color black over the course of 0.02 value. So from this color, it's going to interpolate to this color 2% at a time, because this is a part of the process function that should do it over and over and over again. And then eventually, let's do this. We're going to do var new color. I destroyed it. Okay, you know what? No, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see if this works at least. Cool. Let's see. Let's run. Maybe I got overly ambitious with detecting if any of these properties change and having it automatically update stuff. Okay. Set pixel and base image. Expected 3 arguments. Makes sense. It needs X and Y, and then the interpolated color. Cool. All right. Well, it'd be wiggling. Interesting. It just stops immediately. Let's stop printing this. Okay. Fascinating. So it's just constantly wiggling whatever foliage we're just standing at any point in time. That doesn't seem quite right. Let me double check something. So we're gonna do print the array. Oh, hold on a second. I think I might know why. The array never changes. It just keeps growing. But then eventually just reaches 0. Every color in the array reaches 0, so it should still be dissipating. Yeah, okay. Oh, that is interesting. It's printing an empty array once in a while. Or maybe that's because we're flooding with too much information, so it's like, yo man, here's something. Okay. Now, maybe we're gonna do 0.1. And are we not forgetting something? After we set the pixel, we need to set the data again. Which we should probably do after the for loop. So it's just all at once. Alrighty. Fingers be crossed. Hey, I saw it. It works. It's a little fast, but it works. Okay. We're gonna have to make sure that the array gets destroyed afterwards. Notice this function set data in base nil. That's not supposed to happen. But whatever is supposed to happen does work. Yeah, look at that. And then that guy over there is just he be wiggling. But it does work. Let's get rid of this. Okay. We do need to get rid of the pixels, or the array pixel coordinates that have already reached black, so that they don't occupy the space. We do have to be careful though, because we're looping through that array. Unless we can loop through the array backwards from the end. Yeah, let's do that. Because you can loop through the array backwards and then deal with the value and then remove it from the end, because you're going backwards, you're not actually affecting the next indices you're going to go, because you're not going to the next index, you're going backwards. Because there's a rule. Don't be modifying, or at least don't be deleting the values from an array you're looping through, unless you're doing it backwards. Let's see. Where's the for loop? Where's the for loop? There it is. Okay. So, for each coordinate in. Now, this is going to give us the coordinate itself. We're going to do this. We're going to get through the size. Now, this is going to go from 0 up to whatever size it is. I need to go range of numbers from, let's see, I think we should be able to do it descending, right? Hello, Godot? I know you're tired. There we go. Range starts from 0, steps 1. Starts from B, increases by step 1. Okay. Arguments B, inclusive and exclusive, respectively. Does len not work in Godot or GGScript? It's good question. I'm pretty sure it has its own lexicon. Or actually, hold on. Len is not. I think it is. Yeah, there is len. There we go. It's just that, you know, I'm used to just using the array method. Okay, but anyways, back to reality here. Int bns starts from B, increases, decreases by step of S, stops before N. Okay, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. None of this nonsense. We're gonna generate a range of numbers, and then we're gonna reverse it. Now, generate a range of numbers based on the size of the array. That's good. But reversing it is not something that we can call from within here. Okay, var idx list, get the list, idx list, reverse, flip, what the shit? What's the actual method for it? Slice, sort backwards, invert, son of a... Okay, invert. And then this is an important one, because invert doesn't actually return anything, so you can't take invert and then leave it here, because according to that, this doesn't return anything. So we keep it here, And then we use the reverted array, which means now, if there's 5 vertices here, this is going to have an array of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we use range function to turn that, how many items there are, into an array. So there you go. Then we invert it. So now it's 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then we're going to start looping through that. We're going to get the var current color, disturbed pixel, use, this is not pixel coordinate, current color is not also something that we get. I guess we can just use this variable, and in this case we're going to say it's pixel ID x, pixel index. Use that pixel index here, get the coordinates, x and y, set the pixel. Cool. Now, we're going to call this new color. Or actually, no, that's the original color. So C is fine. But I do need to remove things from the array, and it's better if we have the new color be stored after we interpolate it. Okay. So we shove that here, and then we say if new color is color black. So if it's down to black, we're going to tell this array to remove the item which happens to have this index. Dear God, I hope this works. Let's print after. All right. Non-existent function. That's okay. We're going to ignore that for the time being. Okay. Well, it is removing it. It is definitely removing it. And eventually we'll reach no data. I was kind of thinking that because we're interpolating the color, it would have done the whole nonsense thing where it's like, it's a really, really long, fine float. So red channel will be like 0.0000002, right? And it would just never actually reach 0, or it would reach 0 after like 5 minutes. But this is actually, I would say, pretty gosh darn acceptable. Nice. Okay, so get rid of this. And also, we don't need to set the data if there's no data to set. So let's do this. If size is above 0, then we do this whole thing. Okay. Cool. All right. No debug collisions. Not bad. Yeah, that works. We could probably slow it down a little bit. That would be the lerp 0.01. Actually, no. Let's keep it at 0.02, but we're going to increase the intensity. Okay, so that would be in the shader. And that would be this thing. Noise texture wiggle, play collide wiggle. I guess we can just, what, multiply it? 1.5. my index value. Cool. All right, let's see this. Cool. One particular problem, I would say, is the fact that it kind of jitters on. It just jolts into the new value. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so we know that it works, but what's the way to improve it? Maybe we can have an array. Instead of the array storing only the coordinate, which requires us to address the texture, get the pixel, set the pixel, repopulate the texture data, which no doubt isn't really the fastest way. I feel like just talking to an array is faster. So maybe when the player walks over a shape, we record not only do we record the location, but we also record the color, and then we interpolate the color of the pixel to that color. Now, this is plenty cartoony, to be honest. Like, the sudden start of the animation seems okay, but I'd much rather maybe have it smooth transition. That would be a cherry on top, to be honest. And this is the first time we've actually set something like this up. Ooh. And also the wiggle isn't exactly the best looking. I also figured I'd be able to finish programming the merchant guy. Something I did offline is I switched to back to a grid style inventory like this, and then when the player picks up the item and places it in their inventory, it will charge them on the pickup. We could also make these things wiggle around. There's also a potential issue, I think. Maybe. Maybe. If we have two of these ferns, let's reduce this to like 5 by 5. Right? So 2 ferns. I'm going to take this one, move it over. If I regenerate this one generates as well, but we kind of already know that. We just need to make the multi-mesh instance unique. There we go. And then we take this. There we go. Okay. Now, the core idea here is that these are 2 independent pieces. They do have 2 independent textures, but I think they still share a shader. Which means when I change the texture in one, it's also going to change the texture in the other, so I think we should see the ferns wiggling in the other one as well. Yep. It's a ghost! Oh! Yeah, so you can kind of see the ferns on the other side wiggling as well. But this should, hypothetically, be resolved if we make the shader local to scene. Let's see. I have a sneaky suspicion that making a shader local to scene here is not actually going to do anything. Yep, okay, so it's technically this only works if you mark it local to scene within like a scene here. But clearly here the multi-mesh is not local to scene. And we can't even we can't physically make it local to scene. Unless, hold on a sec. That's grass, and it has its own material, right? I could, hypothetically, I could say that this multi-mesh autoplacer is specifically designed for reactables. So ferns at this juncture. And other large leaf plants. So I believe if I do that... oh, Jesus. Whew, man. The spirit is willing, but the body can't make it. God damn it. It is possible to mark a material to be local to scene and completely unique as long as it is done within its own scene. But we did it here. So I think what I can try to do is this. Let's take this multi-mesh. We're going to copy it with all of the guts included. We're going to go to this scene. And we're going to save scene as... this is multi-mesh autoplacer, sure. We're going to call it reactable multi-mesh autoplacer. Or I guess we can call it fern multi-mesh autoplacer. Sure. Before I commit. Let's call it reactable. Let's see if we can still potentially make it be customizable. Let's save it. And then here, we're going to paste well, we need to paste this, the multi-mesh. There we go. Okay, now, this multi-mesh is going to be set local to scene, this multi-mesh resource. This mesh itself doesn't have to be local to scene, but the material does. Yes, there we go. Okay, so now we'll go back, get rid of ferns, reactable, place it. Here it is, generate. Okay, these are the default values. Let's reduce to 5 by 5, and then like this. Duplicate. No, it did not make it local to scene. Okay, let's try that one more time. Enter the scene. This whole resource is local. This material is local. Yeah. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is all unique now. Unless, you know what? Unless it's because we're pushing the material into the mesh instance, and the mesh instance is not local to scene. That could be it. If we want to avoid doing this, we would have to place it as a material override rather than a surface material. I don't think there should be any performance implications, but we'll see. Okay. Duplicate, please. Son of a bitch. Okay, hold on. Whoa. Place a new one. Five by 5. 1. Yes. Duplicate. It really doesn't want to do it. It doesn't want to keep it unique. Not unless I do stuff like this. Make unique. And then it works. And then, in that case, local to scene doesn't work on multi-meshes. Which is a bummer. And it's undoubtedly not going to get fixed. Okay. Curious. Everything is just kind of wiggling when it shouldn't be wiggling. And that's because it is missing... Oh, yes, that's right. Hold on a sec. We totally forgot that we need to mark it as reactive. Maybe we could assign the multi-mesh in code as well. Okay, so now both of these things are reactive. Of course, you know, we're gonna have to, yeah, so you see we have to like redo the scatter, all that good jazz. Hopefully now that it's checked, anytime we drag and drop it into the level, it's not gonna be a requirement to click it. It's not reacting though. Hmm. It's also not showing signals. Hmm. You know what? This is fascinating. We can generate. It looks like even though it says shape created, and we see the shapes, they don't physically appear here because they're likely appearing within their own scene. Like right here. Yeah, there's only one scene here. There's no collisions also to detect the ground with. Now, what if we just leave the area here? This is the reactable multi-mesh, right? What if we just say, yeah, cool. Um, don't create the area because the area is already going to be here. Just like that. And don't need to do anything. I was kind of attempting to keep everything as just a multi-mesh scatter, but I suppose body shape entered is going to have to be its own separate thing. Oh, what the heck? Body shape entered. Yes. Um, we're not gonna display the signal, or is it still trying to delete it? Yeah, it's like it is a being a stupid. Let's clear that for a sec. Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense. Clear that. And then body shape entered. Connect. It's not displaying the signal icon. But maybe it's there. Maybe it's just being Godot. So area. This is reactable. There's the area node. There's the shape. Now it's experiencing the connection. Okay. Now, this means that we now have an area guaranteed. We're not going to use it if it's non-reactive. We don't need to check if it's not there because it's always there. I was kind of considering this already. We just have it not react to anything if it doesn't have any shapes. This may cause issues, however, where since it's going to be a tool script, it would be like, yo man, area doesn't exist. Ugh. And we're going to have to worry about that. If I'm correct, however, that's just a matter of making sure this code doesn't run. But we don't need this because that just establishes a signal, which we already have. All of this code doesn't run when it doesn't have access to that area node. But that means we're going to have to kind of run this code at runtime. And that means loading times. Okay, we're not removing all old shapes. We are create new shapes. That's what I get for trying to over-engineer the damn thing. Cool. Sprite 3D, yeah. Oh, right. Not a tool script. Maybe it shouldn't be a tool script, to be honest. Seems like a lot of work. Well, technically it should be a tool script because multi-mesh scattering, having feedback directly in the level. There we go. It's fine. First time creating a reactive interactive multi-mesh based system. It's still not showing the print results, but is it reactive? It is told to be reactive. If body is in group player group, it would have detected it. So this should technically be working. See, that still doesn't work. But that's fixable by making the shape unique. We might just have to make the shape be generated in code, because the whole unique local to scene does not seem to work. Okay. You know, maybe it's not actually adding the collision shapes to the area node. I have a feeling that that's all it comes down to. Or, let's go to remote. Let's get back down to here. Oh, wild beans. Right. What's the name of the node? Oh, it's... right. I'm going to call it reactive multi-mesh scatter. You know, I distinctly remember... Whoa. Oh, okay. Thought it got the same node name. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. I distinctly remember how we had like tech demos of Assassin's Creed, what is it, Black Flag, and the Call of Duty and or Battlefield and whatnot, and everybody's talking about like how the foliage is bending and the snow is bending and the fish are swimming away, and it seemed like the sort of stuff that's only available to AAAs. And then, you know, here we are, kind of doing the same stuff. Sort of. You know, if it worked. Let me double check this. I have a feeling it's destroying my collision shapes. And it is. It is, and it's doing it here. If reactive, if engine is editor hint. Only destroy it if it's in the editor. Oh, well. It doesn't destroy it. Because if it's not, it returns. Okay. All right, let me do let me do one quick check here. Print shape removed. Okay. So we did that. Oh, let me clear this. Okay. Shape removed, shape created. Now we clear, run it, and we should see no such thing. Nope. They just don't exist. Now maybe that's because the owner was set to the edited scene. Maybe we're just gonna make the owner be the area. I think also owner takes the path to a node. No, it just takes the node. Okay. So for all intents and purposes, should be working now, unless we have to regenerate it. Yeah, we don't see shapes, so it's not there. Shape created. Shape created. And we know that it's created in the right place because we can see the bloody thing. Oh. That's one shape. It's one damn shape. And it is making something wiggle. Right. Okay. You know what? I think that's fine. Let's take a pause. I did achieve what I set out to achieve. We have a multi-mesh instance capable of spawning hundreds of meshes, and they are all reactive to the player without using scenes. Cool. Now that we figured out that process, we can replicate it. We can use it on all sorts of other types of foliage. That's cool, but I'll have to play around with this and figure out what the heck is happening here. Cool. All right, that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll continue in the next one.